Hi, it's Janet Pace from birdwithme.com, and I am here to talk about bird feeders today and birdseed. This is going to be the first in a series of videos about preparing your yard for spring. Clean feeders. It's super important, not only to keep your feeder looking nice and to keep it functional, but it's most important for the health of your birds. If seed is left in a feeder for too long, or if you keep piling new seed on top of the old seed, what happens is it starts to cake up after time. And I have an example right here in the corner. It's kind of caked up there. It's not caked up a lot because I clean it frequently, but the reason that happens is because of precipitation. Water gets in there, it cakes up the seed, and mildew and mold results. Birds don't like the taste of that. So have you ever seen maybe your tube feeder where there's still seed in there, maybe up to above the first hole, but the birds are not eating it and you're wondering why? That's why. It doesn't taste good, it's not good for them, so you want to empty that out and completely clean them. I just finished cleaning these with a little bit of hot water and Dawn dish soap and my handy brush. And you want to make sure when you clean that you get into all the little nooks and crannies, every little part, because it can get caked down inside and you want to make sure it's completely clean. After you clean them, you can sterilize them. You don't have to sterilize them every single time, but especially this time of year, after we've gone through winter, I like to sterilize them. The way you do that is to take 10 parts water, in this case I've got 10 cups of water, to 1 part bleach, and you can just use normal plain old Clorox bleach, and then just soak the different parts of your feeder. It's also important to clean your wood feeders the same way, but I wouldn't soak them quite as long, maybe only 10 minutes. And on your feeders, if there's any parts that are broken, now's a great time to fix them. In my tube feeder, for example, I have a broken perch. And this one came with replacement parts, so I'll be replacing the perches on this. And often with wood feeders, you'll see nails that have popped out, very similar to nail pops in your house because the cold weather kind of pops them out. Tap those back in, check for broken hinges, and just all around, check for the functionality of your feeders. So after they've soaked and had a chance to dry, you want to fill them with the proper seed. This seed is called thistle or Niger or thistle Niger, and it's treated, it's heat treated, so it will not sprout if it gets all over the ground. And while some birds are ground feeders, that's good for them, like robins, juncos. They can get the seed that may have fallen, and other birds love the seed. Finches, goldfinches, purple finches, chickadees, even nuthatches. So this is really high in protein. The reason they like it is because it's nutritious, it's high in protein, and it's high in fat. It's expensive, but worth it. You'll get a lot of beautiful birds to your feeder. Also, a super favorite of birds is black oil sunflower. The reason they like it so much is it's soft. The shell is really easy to break. It's very meaty inside, and it has a lot of protein and a lot of oil. And the reason that's important is it helps the birds produce more oil, and they will use that oil from their glands to preen their feathers, keep them smooth, and keep them well functioning. That's a big part of why birds have to keep their feathers clean so they can fly well. So this also is a little bit more expensive than your mixed seeds, but very well worth it. Lastly, this is a mixture of millet and other nuts that are really high in protein, fat, and energy. Birds love it. However, I want to caution you against buying mixes that have a lot of millet in it. This is the same mixture, and after this has been out there for a short amount of time, the birds have picked through virtually all the nuts and left the millet because they don't like it. It has virtually no nutritional value. It's grown in mass. It's very cheap, and a lot of times you'll find this as a filler in your bird seed, especially in the grocery store. So just spend a couple extra dollars, make your birds happy, and you won't have the extra mess. And it's also good if you have a window feeder, this goes in a window feeder, to use seed that's already hulled instead of like the black oil sunflower has the shell still on, because what you'll end up with is a mess right under your window. So get seed that is already hulled. And lastly, I cleaned this feeder last fall and sterilized it, but I will soon be whipping up a batch of hummingbird juice. And the way I do that is take 4 parts water to 1 part sugar, boil it until you're sure all the sugar is absorbed, let it cool, and fill up your feeder. I don't add any red food coloring or any dye of any sort. There's some debate about whether or not that is healthy for hummingbirds. I'm not sure, but just not take the risk. I've stopped adding it a few years ago, and they still find it just by the little red flowers. Plus, the commercial brands that I've used in the past, for some reason, the birds don't like it. They love the sugar water, though. So try that. Fill up your feeders. Make sure you clean them, sterilize them, get some great seed, and you're well on your way to attracting those birds to your backyard. So I'll see you next time when we talk about birdhouses and nesting materials.